look around. Like, at what point do you sit back and look around and be like, wait, what's wrong with me? Like, I've destroyed so much in the pursuit of the flat earth.
That's a good fucking webcomic. I like that webcomic.
Has there ever been content?
Go off, Noah.
Everybody clap your hands. Right,
That was
we gotta
rough.
never do that again.
That
All right,
was real bad.
3, 2, 1. Well, the everybody clap your hands bit didn't work because that's the whole reason we have the clap thing in the first place, is so we can sync audio. Because if it's not synced, we're all just going to keep doing things like that.
Well, to be fair, you should sync audio like in person too, and that does
It's
work.
true.
It's just that the
but
internet
if we were to
is
try singing
bad.
like a song right now, it wouldn't work.
No, not at all.
And even
It would
there's
sound
only like
great for
50 ping
one
on a
person.
Discord server. Yeah, there's only like a little bit of ping on a Discord server, but like even 50 ping makes a huge difference when you're singing a song.
I would argue even like a couple even like 10 ping makes a difference when you're singing a song.
Yeah, I think you could probably get away with it up to like 20.
I don't
And,
think
like,
I
after
don't
that,
know that you could.
I don't think you could
Really?
because music by its nature requires so much timing.
yeah, I guess if it's a slow enough song.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
Like
Yeah.
if you slow down the BPM enough, I mean, you couldn't. Nobody's gonna do that. And every time we touch, I get to feel it. No one's gonna hit that one, right? You gotta have zero.
Not
ping.
yet. But now I have
I
one
feel
more
like
new
actually
goal.
because that it has such a driving beat to
Also-
it. I feel like you
but the
really
beat's
could
gonna be
actually.
off. You'd have to like use like the ping to change your beat. You know, you have to be like off on purpose.
I'm
Yeah,
cruising at a
fair.
gentle 10. Oops, sorry. I'm cruising at a gentle 10, and I don't think I could consistently sing along with anybody.
Not even me.
I don't know what I'm at.
You can mouse over the little, you know
21, 19. That's actually pretty good.
what? 7.
I'm at 30. I'm at 38. Yikes.
Yikes.
I'm sure it's a distance because we're probably an East Coast based thing. It's probably based out of let's see,
Probably Germany, like Dusseldorf in
I don't
Germany.
think where
Probably.
does it show me in the? Hold on, I think I can check.
Yeah,
US East
it's probably-
805.
Yeah, but I don't know
probably
where
Dusseldorf.
where that's based. Discord,
Dusseldorf, Germany.
East server
Do I
location.
have to say it again? It's in
We're
Dusseldorf.
all hearing you. We're just ignoring you.
It's in Germany.
It doesn't
You may
feel
know,
good,
you
does
may have
it?
heard of it?
No,
have heard of it? Dusseldorf?
US East is New Jersey. That's why I have 7 ping.
Yeah, Dusseldorf.
Dusseldorf, New Jersey.
It's a suburb of Camden in Germany.
There it is.
Can't ignore me forever. Trust me, people have been trying for years.
I can and I would, but we have to record a podcast. I have to be
You
a
laughed. You laughed
professional.
at my joke.
Yeah, because we're recording a podcast
Nope.
and constant.
I could hear the smiles in your speech
constant-
moments ago.
Constant no selling isn't good podcast content.
You can't tell me. You can't hide the smile when you're
Right,
talking.
Noah?
I can hear it. I can hear the smiling.
What do you mean, right, Noah? Right, Noah, what?
Constantly no
Man,
selling
imagine getting
jokes isn't
ignored,
good
man.
podcast material.
I didn't hear what you said because I opened up a news thing.
Wow, he was ignoring you. You fuck. No, because I know Noah, and I think he actually just wasn't paying attention.
Oh yeah, genuinely, I think he didn't.
No,
I don't
he's
think it
just
was
an
a bit.
idiot.
I think he just didn't hear you.
So here's the thing.
Here is the thing.
This is the new thing. Go
No,
off.
it's okay. So New York Post. So it's questionable content, right? But
That's a good fucking webcomic. I like that webcomic.
Has there ever been content?
Go off, Noah.
I don't know. But the article is titled "Pope Francis sick a day after supporting coronavirus sufferers."
I did see that. Yeah.
To clarify what I'm about to say, it will not be funny if the Pope dies from coronavirus after this. But man, dude,
is
it's
it
gonna be
about
really
Undertale
funny if the
2?
Pope dies from coronavirus after trying to just be like
A
helping
good
people.
person. Yeah.
That means we would never get a copy of Undertale 2, though.
It's true. It would be the greatest tragedy.
because the Pope is the only one who's powerful enough to make Undertale 2.
It's true. He's just been sitting on that for years now. Selfishly, I might add.
Since like 2005, before Undertale. When he was a cardinal, he was like,
Yeah.
Undertale 2.
Yeah, back before everyone called him the Pope.
Imagine
he
what
was
a power move that would be. To like make a game or a movie and just call it like whatever 2. Just be like, yeah, what about it?
I know a lot of people that thought that the movie Trolls 2 was like made like that.
Yeah, that was like just a bit of a misunderstanding though.
It's just
I mean,
because
I feel
Trolls
like there's-
2 is an unofficial sequel to Trolls and it doesn't follow the same story.
Yes, but it is. Is it actually licensed or did they just put the name on there?
I think they might have just put the name on there.
Okay, I know it because it is technically a sequel in terms of like what the producers actually thought.
They
But
thought.
in terms of content, it is not at all a sequel. It makes no sense.
Mhm.
But the producers did think they were making a sequel.
And isn't that the true meaning of Christmas?
Mm-hmm. I would think
Yes.
so.
I think trying to make a sequel and realizing that your sequel sucks is the true meaning of Christmas.
So I traveled and got sick recently,
Oh no.
much like the Pope.
Much like the Pope.
I find myself very similar to the Pope in a lot of ways. One of them is that this past week I traveled and got sick, and the other one is that I know about Undertale too. But anyway, yeah, I was thinking, I was like, man, what if I got coronavirus? Wouldn't that be crazy? But then, like, the more I thought about it and like looked at it, I was like, this is just the flu.
Aren't they?
I was like, that's
very similar symptoms.
Yeah, no, the coronavirus is just the flu. It's just slightly more deadly to old people.
It is also, well, the big issue with coronavirus is that there is no cure for it yet.
There's no cure for the flu.
Yeah, but
they give you just like some whole bunch of Sudafed.
There are vaccines for the flu though, and there's nothing for corona yet.
The big thing with the coronavirus
is significantly more contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
It also like, but you are correct. Like the big like problem with it is that it is like in America. You're probably fine. Like you have pretty fucking good odds of being totally fine.
Yeah. In China, it had like a 12% chance to kill you if you're over the age of like 80.
But like, well, and that's the thing is that like the less money you have and the less access you have to healthcare,
I'm dead.
Well, exactly. The more dead you are is basically the
I got no money. I got no healthcare.
Got no money. Got no name.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. Yeah. We can all just like get diseases and die sometimes.
Yeah, because we live in a society.
In which things are constantly happening.
I said I wasn't going to do that joke as much anymore. I lied.
Yeah, you walked right into it. So I went to my traveling, though, where I got the dreaded sickness. I went to a Cleveland Cavaliers game.
How was that?
It was actually like super awesome.
Nice.
Like they were down by 19 points at the start of the fourth quarter.
Mm-hmm.
Then that's a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah, because usually a basketball game goes to like a pro game usually goes to somewhere around 100 points.
Yeah.
Not always. Sometimes it's significantly less. Sometimes it's a little bit more. But right around 100 points. And going to the fourth quarter, the Miami Heat had like 92, and the Cavs had like whatever was 19 points less than that. So they were just like getting bowled on all game. And then in the fourth quarter, the Cavs were just like, it's time to win. And then they pulled like an incredible run. They got like 42 points, and the Heat only answered with like 17 or something like that.
Ooh, nice.
So they just like racked it up, and then by the end of it went to overtime because they tied it up, and then they ended up winning 123 to 118.
Those are big numbers.
It's true, and it did the thing that only professional sports can really do, which is when the last 5 seconds of the game last 10 minutes because everyone just gets as many fouls as possible to try and stay in the game.
Yep.
I think within the last literally 15 seconds of the game, the Heat had about 6 fouls.
Jesus.
And like 2 of them were technical fouls, and the one dude actually like shoved another player, which is like a huge like after a play, like he just like straight up shoved him like aggressively, which is like an unprofessional sport, like unsportsmanlike conduct, which is like a big technical foul. It was a fun game though. I caught a stress ball that was thrown into the crowd.
Hey.
And then I got to go down
Did it
on
make
the
you
court
stressed
after the
to
game.
be having stress balls thrown at you?
A little bit, yeah. I did catch it, and it was like shot out of a Gatling gun.
Mm-hmm.
Which was so sick. They had like a stress ball Gatling gun, and basically just had like a bunch of like probably just like PVC pipes like taped to a device that like shot them out with compressed air, and they just shot them all over the crowd. I got one.
Nice. I do love the weird contraptions that things
like the
that
t-shirt
sports
cannons
games have. Yeah, t-shirt cannons, stress ball Gatling gun. Like these things are amazing. We need more technology like this.
It's just like it's basically like a tame version of the potato launchers.
Mm-hmm. It's a potato launcher that won't kill people.
Yeah, potato launchers are terrifying.
Potato launchers are terrifying.
They can shoot the potatoes like literally a mile. It's absolutely like that would kill you so fast.
I used to back when I was living in Bumblefuck McRedacted land.
Mm-hmm.
My neighbors.
Everyone does know where we live, right?
Well, not where I'm not. I mean, it doesn't matter where I was in the fucking bullshit middle of nowhere part of it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but anyway, also what I'm about to say is super illegal. My neighbors owned a potato cannon and would like because people used to fly down my street. Like I'm talking like not.
Oh, they would shoot potato cannon at cars.
100%. Never
That's
hit.
So based.
Never hit. But Hulad, the most illegal.
Yeah, it's pretty illegal, especially because like you just straight up could kill somebody.
Yeah, 100%. Or at the very least cause them to lose control of their car and crash and then die. Which arguably is the same thing as killing them.
And a potato goes through your windshield and just like shatters your skull.
Mm-hmm.
What a
To
way
be fair,
go.
you shouldn't have been going down the road at 100 miles per hour in a.
You know what? It's actually okay to be going down the road 100 miles an hour as opposed to being murdered with a potato gun.
Kill them all.
No,
Only if
I
they're
think I'm
jaywalking.
with Jackson on this one. That driving
He wants to
fast
kill
is
jaywalkers too.
dangerous.
Wow,
listen,
strange.
listen.
But
I'm
it is
just saying
also not actively trying to kill people.
there are signs and everything that are like active children playing or whatever.
Yes, but you still are going to murder someone for speeding.
They're gonna murder someone for speeding.
Yes, but that doesn't mean you have to, and it doesn't mean they will.
It's
I'm not.
You're
difference
actively
between
trying
they
to.
would-
I'm not. Listen, I'm not saying that what they did was a good thing. I'm just saying I wouldn't feel that bad.
That's
Very
fine.
strange. I
My-
would feel pretty bad.
My take here is that there's
If
a
I killed
difference
someone with a
between.
potato
Well,
gun.
not if I would feel bad if I killed them, but I wouldn't feel bad if they died.
Okay, so my thought is there is a difference between actively shooting a potato cannon at a moving car and driving fast,
No way.
which could hurt people,
Yes,
or
I would
an
agree.
actual purposeful attempt to hurt people. I'm just
would
saying
agree.
there is a difference.
No, I
These pictures are
100%
the
agree.
same.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that. I am
Actually,
also,
I see no difference. Love is love.
Dang, you got me there.
also think that there is, I don't know, man. Just when people do real dumb, stupid, illegal shit, I don't feel that bad when bad things happen to them, and that's fucked. But tis
I
what
don't think
tis.
speeding is like real dumb.
I don't think it is. I think that
Was it because
I would like
you've
to.
established this is like a middle of nowhere back road?
Yes, but I also think that you should not go 100 plus down a side street when if you're gonna go 100 plus, go down to the highway right behind my house and do that, right? I don't care if
100
you're
plus is a bit of a generous number there. You ever been going over 100 in
I
a car
have,
before?
I have, yeah. Also super legal, also super dangerous. Was on a back street, was on a highway.
It was on the turnpike with me.
Actually, what's the fastest
That's
you've ever been in a
true.
car?
I remember. That was a good time, Noah.
The fastest I have ever been in a car was when Dan was with me and we went 103.
I remember
These
that.
cowards.
My car was shaking when it got that fast.
That
It was
was-
not going to let me go much faster.
Understandable, yeah.
Once the car starts shaking, that's how you know you're like, maybe we're done going fast.
When I first got my car, I was driving down to New Orleans, and there's a weird law in Texas that says you basically your cops won't pull you over on the bridge; they'll pull you over after it,
Mm-hmm.
just because they're usually they don't have very big margins, and it's there's not a side of the road. It's dangerous for trucks to be going down and all So they usually pull you up after the bridge. But there's a part on I-10 which is like a 108-mile long bridge. So it's basically they're just they just can't pull you over functionally. Now they literally could follow you for 100 miles, but there's no cops on it because it's this huge bridge. It goes over all the
Yeah,
bayou.
there's
and,
not
the
really
crawfish
anywhere for
farms
them
and stuff.
to pull you over.
There's nowhere for any cops
Anyone to
to
sit.
be.
Yeah.
This entire stretch. And so when I first got my car, I was driving and I was like, oh, let's see how fast I can go over this stretch. And I got up to 143 before I stopped.
That's
And it was
pretty
the most
high.
terrifying experience of my life.
I respect that. I'm jealous.
That sounds like a trench run scenario. That's at a certain point. I feel like that's what you're getting into.
It was Fast and the Furious scenario
That
in my
works.
mind.
That works.
I was Paul Walker. Noah was Vin Diesel.
That's true.
He
I
just
was out
didn't know
here.
it.
I cared about family. Family.
How many Fast and the Furious movies can they make using the tagline, family is more than just blood?
Probably
I
a
feel like
lot.
this is
I think more,
the last one.
more than they have.
Well, they've done the last one, the 8th one was they were like, blood isn't always family and family isn't always blood. And this one they're like, hey, guess what we're saying as the tagline, guys? Same one.
Yeah, I mean, I would like them to be better, but I would also just in general like them to be better. So,
I honestly love the Fast and Furious movies. The older ones are bad, the newer ones are great.
That's honestly, I've heard a lot of people have that same sentiment. Yeah.
They're just
I like
they're,
the bad
they're,
old
they're
ones
silly.
though, because
The
they
bad
were
old ones
like
have
they
a
were
charm,
terrible,
yeah.
and they knew they were terrible. Well, they didn't. No, yeah, they were
didn't
terrible,
know.
and they did not have a clue that they were terrible.
The
And I
newer
think that
ones
means a
do
lot.
it in a way they know they're bad, but they're still not leaning into it. If that makes sense, they lean into the absurdity, but they don't lean into the being bad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
And which is the problem that happens with things like Sharknado, where the first one leaned into the absurdity, but it wasn't purposefully bad. It just ended up being bad.
yeah.
The sequels, they were let's just be bad, and then in the being bad, the absurdity loses its flavor.
Oh well, what if we were just bad? Hello, JK.
It's funny. Yeah, you want to be just bad.
Cowards.
No, but that's gonna the 7th one, I believe, is the one where there's a scene where they're driving Lamborghinis through a room with naked models painted gold, and they're just spinning around models dancing on these platforms, and you're just you know what? I'm on board. I'm for it.
Are you
And then they
telling
like
me
drive the
cars
cars
were
out of like
strip
the
dancing?
70th story. No, but they were like doing like donuts around the strippers. And then they like drive the cars out of the window, and it's like classic Fast and the Furious where like the helicopter like catches the car with a hook, and then it's like does like a slingshot. It's Fast and the Furious. It
I
makes
do
no
love
sense.
that. It's so stupid, and it means a lot to me that they do it.
Oh yeah, like the trailer for the new one where like they drive off a bridge and Vin Diesel gets the car to get hooked on the wheel with the rope from the bridge, and then it slingshots the car all the way into like the next
that
island.
looks stupid.
It looks so good though. It's so dumb. But like it's absurd, but it's not playing up the dumb. That's like Vin Diesel's not like, hey, this is silly. What if this happened? He's just like, all right, I know we can do this. I got it. I'm the best driver there's ever been. And because he like never pretends like he's doing anything absurd, it makes it that much better.
Mm-hmm.
I like those movies. I haven't seen the 8th one actually.
I don't know that I've seen any of them completely.
You didn't watch the third one completely with us? We watched it as a movie night way back when.
I think the
That
5th
Tokyo
one.
Drift?
Yeah.
I watched most of
Drift
it,
is
but
your
wasn't there for
favorite
all of
one.
it. It is.
You
I
know
mean,
what
it
DK
does
stands
have.
for?
It does have the best fucking one of the best meme songs out there. I will.
It's
admit.
true. But Dan, do you know what DK stands for?
Is it Drift King?
No, it's actually Donkey Kong.
Oh, okay.
Oof.
That's the best part of the movie when the guy's like Donkey Kong, Drift King.
Did you guys ever? Speaking of Drift
No.
King, all right, this is a weirdly specific reference and not
Yeah,
old
no,
YouTube, but medium YouTube. Did you guys ever watch VHS?
No. I remember you telling me
This
to check it
name-
out.
This name means something. You have said something that's like I feel like a sleeper agent that just got like woken up.
Video Game High School was a series.
Was it Freddy?
It was
Wong?
right when they were switching from being Freddie Wong to Rocket Jump. Yeah.
I don't think I saw it, but I feel like I saw a lot of ads for it.
So here's my take on it, right? Because it's okay. So the context of the thing is the whole like the first season, because I think it had 3 seasons. It was actually pretty decent. Yeah. The first season, like the core idea is that like video game high school. It's you go to fucking high school and learn how to be a fucking competitive player for video games, right? And they have like leagues and shit.
time.
It is. It's pro gamer moves.
Before gamers
Go for
were
it.
just inherently cringy.
Mm-hmm. Well, okay, no, not before. It's always.
It's kind of always been there.
Well, it has, but not in the same way as it is now.
Although honestly, like I'm not gonna lie, gamers inherently cringy. Pro gamers are like really aren't though.
No, pro gamer
Like,
because
most
you know what
of
it
them
is.
are like very
'Cause they-
stand-up people who are
they
pretty
fucking-
decent.
They take themselves goddamn seriously and act like goddamn professionals.
Yeah, like that's the thing that people are like, oh, these like professional video game players are probably like fat and live in their mom's
Nah,
basement.
man.
And you see them and they're like all like shredded, and you're like, what? Like all the Counter-Strike players are just ripped. Like, what are you
Yeah.
guys doing? What are they
Because-
feeding you? What's in the water?
Yeah, I
It's-
started
it's-
following the Philly Fusion, their Overwatch team, because Dave loved them so much. And I'm
Represent.
like, I'm watching their Twitter feed, and they're like, yeah, we've got this like $100,000 gym in the basement of our group house. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I guess like being physically fit would actually help you be better.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know?
it does. I mean, especially it's like a mental thing too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you feel better,
and
you game better.
Most every professional esports team is going to have like a sports medicine expert on their staff.
Mm-hmm.
Like a sports psychologist and a sports medicine expert are like pretty much essential.
Because I feel like a
Yeah,
lot
it's
of people
just
are always
funny.
like, oh, yeah, they need so much help. They're going to sprain their wrists or something stupid like that. But like, no,
I mean,
like,
that is also real.
that is
that is
also
a very-
real.
Got to look for the support on G2. He's got like carpal tunnel. Poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's like a stigma. I think we're like definitely moving away from it, but I think there's still like a lot of people who don't separate that.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are some exceptions. Like I think a lot of like fighting game players especially kind of have the opposite effect. Like they fall into the stigma, and it's because most of them don't live in a team house, and a lot of them aren't sponsored. They don't have like the access to those like facilities all the time.
I don't fully agree because I'm thinking of some of the like God, I'm trying to remember his Swoozy who is a YouTuber who I've kind of had in the back of my head for a while.
What does he play?
Street Fighter. And
No,
he
there's
is
no way. He can't be good.
he
can't be like
fuck off
tournament
ripped.
good. Yeah, but like he can't be like that good.
Yeah, no,
I
he
never heard
was
his name.
in
And I watched
tournament.
a lot of Street Fighter.
He was in tournaments. Let me look. Let's
Was
see.
he like top 8? Was he like getting
I
out of
don't know.
pools?
I don't know. Oh nope, I lied. He did Dead or Alive.
That would make sense because I've never seen a single match of that game.
No, do it. Let's see.
There's like no new Dead or Alives, right? I haven't
I don't know
heard
when the
from
last
that
one
in a
was.
long time.
No, not that I know of.
Yeah, and they haven't been at Evo in a while. They haven't really been anywhere big.
Dead or Alive brand, Dead or Alive
game.
franchise. March 1st, 2019.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, maybe it's
Yeah, we got
maybe
one in
it's bombed or
2019.
something. Strange.
Yeah, Dead or Alive 6 dropped early last year, 1 year ago, pretty much.
Maybe the competition's just not very good in it or something, because it wasn't anywhere. And to be fair, I haven't watched that many fighting games recently, but I feel like I would at least have heard of it.
I wouldn't be surprised if people kind of moved away from it and toward other games that have like a more well-known player base, just in general.
Do you mean like? Do you mean like Smash Brothers?
No,
Like Melee.
like Tekken.
This guy said Tekken.
But no, I feel like a lot of people were not the what do you call? I feel like a lot of people that I know never played Dead or Alive because of the game's incredible focus on like boob jiggle physics.
Yeah, it was like it's like a really pervy game from everything I've heard.
So I hear.
Well, I mean, like I haven't actually like played it, but I just know that they've made like several spin-offs that are like beach volleyball and vacation week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, you can't.
I mean, you can't search Dead or Alive game without having like a bunch of anime titties shoved up in your face. So
BRB searching up Dead or Alive.
I was about to say. So it sounds like Jackson's kind of fighting game. I'm really surprised he's never played it. It's weird.
More of a Guilty Gear guy, all things considered. There's a new one of those coming out pretty soon.
What is it?
It's very exciting.
Guilty
Gear.
Mm.
It's like it's an anime fighter basically is what the category is. It's made by Arc System Works. They made Dragon Ball Fighter Z.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like their big game right now. Even like so what they did for Dragon Ball Fighters is they basically were just like, hey, let's take the engine from Guilty Gear, put Dragon Ball characters in it, and then remove any nuance. And that's the game. And like that's not like a hot take. That's just genuine. Like that's legitimately like what the company did.
Yeah.
Speaking,
like, let's get rid of combos and make an auto combo function that exists within the game.
Oof.
That's a default.
Oof.
That's
I don't know if you can turn it off because I haven't played it extensively and I haven't like gone through the settings. So I've only played it with friends. I'm not gonna be like, actually, can I turn the auto combos off and look at the combo list real quick?
Man,
yeah.
I always hate playing fighting games with people who actually play fighting games and vice versa. Like, I like the idea of fighting games, and
it's weird.
I think I would enjoy them a lot, but I don't want to have to spend 20 minutes looking at the combo sheet for every fucking character in the game.
This guy said 20 minutes.
Spend 6 hours looking at the combo sheet for every...
You know, if you're not labbing frame data, you're not competitive, kid.
There it is.
That's the problem with fighting games. So, like, even to be, like, the worst online, you've got to be like, okay, I know this is a 4-frame jab.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just be like, I want to hit people.
Which I hate. I hate that.
Unless you're playing Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat, you can just hit people.
Can you?
I mean, like, at the top, it's, like, insane. But, like, at a lower level, there's a more of a casual player base for Mortal Kombat.
One of my roommates used to play online Mortal Kombat a lot. Like, to the point where he had a... what the fuck is the big giant ass controller thing called?
Fighting stick.
That, yes. With your A and B and whatever.
Yeah.
Your joystick.
And yeah, like Mortal Kombat has a little bit more like casual players. Not that like it's not competitive because it is, but like the games like Street Fighter, like it's just like if you go online, everyone's a pro. And Guilty Gear is just terrible because there's no online function for the current game. It's only like privately hosted lobbies. There's not just like matchmaking.
Ooh.
So basically, if you want to play Guilty Gear anymore, you literally have to like play with the pros.
Gross.
Which is neat. Yeah, it's neat, but also like miserable.
Same.
I'm pretty good at Guilty Gear, and I have never once beat someone online.
I feel like that. I feel like
oh, go ahead. Sorry, you first. Well, I was gonna say I feel like that's like the classic fighting game dilemma. You're too good to play with your friends, but you're not even remotely good enough to play online.
I'm pretty sure there's a the hard drive or hard times, right? That's the
I think it is a hard times article too.
With a very similar like concept, which is pretty funny, and it's true.
It's very true, and like I feel like it's not just like I think there's a jump from like in not every game, but any game that has a single player mode and an online mode. Like Age of Empires, I had that same problem when I was growing up. Is that I would be fucking cleaning fucking houses when I was young, but like this, like no way in hell was I going online because I like to actually enjoy the game, and just losing constantly and not feeling like you're getting any better for losing isn't fun. Yeah,
Hai can attest to that. We played Guilty Gear. We probably played like 60 or 70 matches, and I think he may have won one.
Yikes!
One round.
Oof.
and like it's not. And again, it's not like their fault, but it's just like there's like a weird line between like going easy so they can learn the game, and then just not doing anything so they can win. And it's just like you gotta at least like put some pressure on, but not too much pressure.
Well, and that's I feel like the only game that I never.
And then Hai did beat me at Tekken over and over again, but I did take one round off of him. or one game.
There you go. Proud
So
of you.
I'm kind of a big deal.
The only game I've never gotten tired of losing in, with one or two exceptions, is Smash Brothers. And no, I know you know that there, you know, some of the exceptions, but like generally speaking,
I do remember one of the exceptions.
But
I
generally
play Smash
speaking,
Brothers like a cop.
why do you play
When
like
when I play, usually I don't do like 1v1s, and if I do, I just like, I don't know, play like Incineroar or Bayonetta and just yell at people.
Incineroar.
Incineroar. And then you just tell them not to talk to their mom or whatever.
Fair.
Whatever Bayonetta says, I can't even remember. But then most of the time when I play, it's in like group smash, like party mode kind of thing, where you got like 4 or 5 people, and
that's fun.
And yeah, I just always immediately like, all right, who's squadding up with me? Like I pick somebody, like, all right, you and me, man, you and me.
And then betray them immediately.
No, never betray them.
Yes,
I have immense amounts of honor when I play Smash.
Never betray. Correct.
I will exclusively team with people when we're in not team mode, but I will never betray a teammate.
Betray a false teammate that you've teamed with for the sole purpose of this mode.
Yeah, exactly. You team for the advantage, but you don't break the truce. If your teammate does, then they have no honor.
If your teammate does, they're dead to you. That's just how it is.
No, you can still team with them next match.
Really? Because when I'm the kind of guy.
But you just have to be mean to them in real life, because that's a way bigger punishment than anything in a video game.
Fair. What was I going to talk about? What was I saying? Speaking of earlier, fuck.
Usually I just do like the L on my forehead kind of thing. You know, it's like the finger and the thumb. Like she was looking kind of dumb. You know the song. Yeah, I usually just hit him with that, which is the greatest disrespect you can do to a human.
What was I trying to say earlier that we were going to go back to? Noah, you weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
Jackson.
I don't remember what you were
going to say because
you were
going to
go back to. Yeah.
What were we talking about during the context of it?
Oh, I don't know. Probably fighting games. We've been on that for quite a few minutes.
We have. It's true.
Oh, VJHS. I was trying to explain
did talk about that briefly. And then we talked about pro gaming.
Yeah, because we got onto that. I was talking about VJHS for a reason. Now I'm forgetting what that reason was. But I'm going to talk about. I don't mind talking about it anyway.
No, go off.
No, so like I it's fine. It's a fine web series, whatever. Core concept. Everyone plays fucking goes to essentially college, high school. You know, like TV shows do, where it's very unclear.
It's true. Like Zoe 101. Where were they at?
Exactly the same context.
It was technically a high school, but what kind of high school has dorms, right?
Boarding schools.
Maybe. Yeah, but like it didn't really seem like a boarding school.
It definitely doesn't feel like a boarding
very
school.
High schooly. And it probably was a boarding school. They probably addressed it at some point, but it never really felt like a high school. It always felt more like college. It felt like they wanted to make a college show, but they just couldn't get away with it for some reason.
Exactly. But so the show kind of followed that, and the core. That's what it was. DK. We were talking about DK. There is a entire like the college the VGHS has like a bunch of different like games within it. Right, so you got like the FPS players who are like the cool kids, and then you got the fucking
of course
racing game players who are a bunch of like who at least the one that like the main character of is a big fucking dork. You got the RTS players who are like these like really fucking prissy fucking rich kids.
What?
Yeah, it's very fun.
I would have thought like the racing players would have been like the bad kids, and then the RTS players would have been the huge nerds. Did you ever talk to an RTS player?
It's so fucking funny. There is one. Well, that's what that was like. That's the shtick is that it's like, oh, you're gonna drift, and like the Guitar Hero. I think it was like the rhythm game players were like the bad kids.
You know what? Yeah, I believe it.
Of course, the bad kids would be the ones that play rhythm games.
I mean,
Bastards.
to be fair, it was so you guys. I don't know if you guys know this. Freddie W. Actually was a pro gamer at one point.
Whoa,
he was a pro rhythm gamer because he has made a lot of videos about that.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah, at one point he was like one of the top 3 Guitar Hero players in the world.
Neat.
Yeah, and so he got to play. He played himself, which was very funny.
Was he like the rhythm games teacher?
Yeah, he was, and he was like,
as long as he wasn't a student.
No, he was like no, he was like washed up and like trying to hold on to some lost fucking youth kind of thing. It's actually very fun and has a lot of like really good heart to it. I haven't watched it in years, so it may be terrible, and I just am misremembering because I was like in my late teens when I watched it. But still,
that's very possible.
I feel like I do remember this coming out when I was in like 9th grade.
That sounds about right. Let's look it up. The internet exists.
I feel like this is like a 2012, 2013 kind of thing.
2012 was right on the money. Yeah, 3 seasons started in first season was 2012. They did do a really cool thing in the 3rd season where they did mixed frame rate. So like anything in the real world was the usual like 24, 30 or whatever, and then anything in like the game world was at 60. which is like it made everything seem a little bit like if you guys have watched like movies and stuff, and have you ever watched like anything in real life in 60 FPS?
I know nothing about frames,
Yes.
and they mean nothing to me. I only can tell when there's like less than 20.
My personal
That's
favorite
fine.
is you can. I watched a lot of what do you call After Effects walkthroughs, and something After Effects walkthroughs are really big on is 60 FPS recording, and it's
you can tell the difference.
very strange because you see the mouse and it's just moving smoother than you've ever seen a mouse move in your life. Even smoother than your mouse moves, which is also moving at that type of FPS.
Well, and that's like if you've ever seen like people record at 60 FPS, everything feels just slightly wrong for some reason.
Yeah, it's
Maybe I
great.
just got
Isn't it?
slow eyes or something.
It's super cool, and so they used that effect and actually had to make their own player for it on their own site. Like they used YouTube, and YouTube would only play it at like 30 or whatever.
Right.
If you went to their own site, you could watch it at the mixed frame rate, and it was a very cool effect of like, yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Like, and it was very cool. It was just a really neat idea that I felt like I don't know of any other thing that's done mixed frame rate like that, like intentionally and for a story purpose.
Yeah, I just wish I could get it. You know, like I wish I could understand frame rate because like I know that it is real and does matter. But like I literally like if you were to show me something in 30 FPS and 60 FPS, I'd be like, wow, that's the same thing you've showed me.
I mean, that's
I
fair.
just got slow eyes. I don't know.
You've seen that. Have you ever seen that GIF of like a ball traveling across the screen or whatever at different frame rates?
No.
It doesn't matter. But there's a thing out there that shows like it's hard to tell if you're. I mean that might work actually.
One of them is Dragon Ball Fighter Z frame rate.
Try frame rate.
Everything is Dragon Ball Fighter's frame rate. What is happening?
Try
Why
frame
is
rate
this the
ball
big deal?
GIF. That might help. I mean, obviously, depending on what you're running your computer on it, you won't see anything. You actually literally won't see a change above 60. Like my rig is only running 60 FPS max
Yeah, mine's
because I'm
only
poor. But yeah, I mean it's there.
Yeah, I definitely when I'm looking at it like this, I can see for sure.
Exactly, but like anything, genuinely, in probably I would argue 9 out of 10 situations, and like fucking gamers gonna be out here flaming me for it. Like in 9 out of 10 situations, if it's not something you care about, you won't care. Like it doesn't matter to you. Like it literally, you won't notice it.
Gamers be like, I've got 105 million megahertz monitor, so I can see games faster than the human eye could ever hope to perceive them.
Which is bullshit because it's not how eyes work.
It's not how eyes work.
But yeah, no, I was running 30 FPS rig for a long ass time, and I only like super recently got bumped up to 60. Which is, I mean, it just is like it is what it is kind of thing.
Yeah, I think mine's at 60. My one monitor is a 24 FPS monitor, and one of them's 60.
Ooh,
because the one is like, I don't want to say an old TV, but like an older TV. That's basically just like same. It's like a little flat screen. And it's got like a tall base, so it's functionally a monitor. So that's what I've always used it as. But it was designed as a TV, so it's got like
a reduced frame rate.
Yeah, the reduced frame rate.
A reduced refresh rate. Actually,
It might be 30, but I think it's 24.
It's probably 30. Almost everything, even if it is older, it generally runs at 30.
Yeah, why not? You know, what else are you gonna do with it? But that's kind of the thing about like graphics. People are like getting more and more. They're like, I can't wait till we get to like 16K TVs. I'm like, that's just going to be wasting your money at that point.
Well, and
I mean, the nice thing about that is you can get then a TV that is literally as big as the wall of your house and still keep a crisp picture.
And that's
but
really
the only thing it's good for.
But are you going to be doing that? Because I know
I will if there's a 16K TV.
I was going to say, if somebody told me
right.
there was a 16K TV that I could put up along the entire wall of my house.
There probably is. Samsung has them.
I'm sure they do.
Not commercially available, but you could give them enough money to get it, I'm sure.
I'm really itching to like upgrade my rig to 4K monitors because I'm running now right now on two 1900 by whatever. Yeah. And I'm itching to upgrade to a 4K, but I definitely can't do it until much later this year.
They're super expensive, yeah. It's neat though. I mean, I have a PS4 Pro, so it like runs games in 4K, which is super cool because I have a 4K TV. So
nice.
you can actually like, see things in 4K. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a 4K player, so
that's weird.
Yeah, I mean, you can stream things in 4K on it and whatnot, but just because I guess it was designed with the Blu-ray player in mind, because it was like right before 4Ks actually like took off as discs. And even then, they haven't really taken off as discs yet. They're kind of still sleeping. They're just too expensive. You ever see like a 4K movie at like Best Buy is like minimum $30. Online, like minimum like 25. Like they're not cheap.
Yeah.
And you can just stream things on Netflix in 4K. So it's like, what do you want?
What do you want from me? Walking
It's cool though because I have a a PS4 Pro and a 4K TV, and I just watch anime, which is like at a set resolution and at a set frame rate. It's pretty sick.
No, you know what? That's super fair. We have a 4K TV in my house now. And literally like the second thing we did with it after like installing all the updates was get that sweet 4K playback.
Yeah, it's just like I never honestly utilize it, just because. I mean, yeah.
Well,
I watch a lot of anime.
A lot of shows still aren't made in 4K. Like regular TV shows.
A lot of shows aren't made in 4K, and then a lot of documentaries are. So those are really pretty.
That's true.
But like, yeah, it's just like I watch a lot of anime, and anime is fixed frame rate and fixed resolution. So like, you can't be like, I want this anime to be higher. You can't make it prettier. You can just make it uglier.
Did you see that video where somebody made where somebody upscaled some old like low res footage up to being like a modern, like essentially a 4K image?
Oh yeah, the
AI.
Yeah, it was the train pulling into the station video.
Mm-hmm.
It was like
a
a 2
shows?
FPS video.
Yeah, they hella upscaled it. Super cool.
I really liked that, honestly. Not gonna lie, it was cool to see like people out here existing.
Yeah, and like in a like way that actually. I also saw another one that does the same with like anything black and white, where it will upscale black and white footage to being
approximate color.
Well, you basically give it like a sample image to work off of, and then it'll upgrade from there.
Ooh.
See,
it's kind of neat. You kind
I
of
like stuff like that sometimes, because like on one hand, I agree with the people who are like, leave things as they are, don't mess with it, it's part of history like this, and I'm like, I'm not gonna replace it. Flip side though,
you're not deleting it. It's sort of like that time when they painted over that painting. Like that was bad because they literally ruined the original painting.
Yes.
These are video files. You're not getting rid of them. You can have it saved, and you can just save as, bruh.
And I'm gonna be honest, there's a part of me that has a really hard time remembering, the 20s weren't black and white.
Yeah. I mean, that's honestly fair.
Like, there is that little part of my mind that's like,
you ever been to the 20s?
You know what? My mistake. There's that little part of my mind that correctly believes the 20s were black and white. But it's always cool to fool my mind into thinking they had color by seeing colorized photos.
Yeah.
Or like that it was all sepia, like things like that, where that things moved in a jerky comedic fashion. Like, I know that's not how things worked, but it's really cool to remind myself that, hey, that's not how things work. Yeah. They actually had all kinds of stuff out here.
Exactly. And didn't Percy Jackson Percy Jackson, wow. Peter Jackson do a
Hobbit,
didn't he do didn't he do that movie?
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that he did for he did it for free, and it was like a shit ton of old like
money,
World War I footage that they had
they
him
will not be forgotten or something like that.
He updated it to like 30 or 60 FPS,
colorized it manually,
and
the entire fucking thing,
and cleaned up all of it.
They shall not grow old. 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, and he's right. They didn't grow old. Because they died in the war.
That's right. And they I forgot they redubbed all of it because
before I get canceled on Twitter for making a joke about people dying during World War One.
It's fine. It's not too soon. They're all dead. What are they going to do?
I want to talk about that's World War One related.
Go off.
We'll talk about. So I was thinking the other day when I was in the shower, I was like, you know what sucks? I was like, self inserts in literature, right? Obviously, just the worst. And then I was also thinking, I was like, but they've like obviously been doing it for a while, right? I'm like, because you look at like
fucking Odyssey, fucking Dante.
The Odyssey. Homer wrote that about himself.
Dante.
Dude, I love analyzing Dante as like a fanfic because it's literally what it is. Because it's just so good. Just like the fact that he's like, you know what? I saw my neighbor hanging out in the 5th level hell right next to Patroclus. So you figure that one out because they both suck now. Isn't that right? Also, you guys know that one guy everyone loved, Virgil. He thinks I'm really cool and wants to hang out with me. So
yeah.
It's so funny. And people are like, this is the greatest thing ever written in the Italian language.
Yes, that is my favorite part.
And they're kind of right.
Yeah.
Like it does go hard. But like, imagine being Dante's neighbor and being like, oh, well, I've been forever, called a traitor.
Yeah.
The whole world will think I'm a traitor suffering in hell for all eternity because of my neighbor wrote a book about me.
Because my neighbor's kind of a dick.
That's life.
Yeah, I
Apparently.
love Inferno. But I was thinking, like, I mean, you look at like any of Ernest Hemingway's novels, because I've talked about it before. I'm a pretty big fan of that guy.
Yeah.
But you look at like any of his novels, most of the characters are self-inserts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, you know what? I think it's excusable when you're writing a book in like 1922, and literally like the only like stories you have to go off of are for the most part your own. So you're telling like personal stories.
Yeah.
And you're not like super embellishing the characters to a degree. Obviously, like there's things changed to make things slightly different, and there's a little bit more spice added to them. But I mean, back then I think it was a lot more people just being like, I want to tell my cool stories, but I want to use someone else's name.
Yeah.
So that people won't make fun of my friends. And now it's just like 40-year-old dudes are like, yeah, and then he's like super cool and everyone loves him in school and all the girls think he's super hot and kiss him a lot.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it do be like that.
There's a moderate change there.
Well, and I think a lot of that does definitely come in the same way that like you look at a lot of like old movies, Citizen Kane, and they just don't hold up because that's all they had. And I feel like that's why like people
they
say
didn't have Paddington 2.
That's true. I've heard people say like, oh, there's no more great works of literature. Not really. Like nothing that's like going to be in the same way as like the Odyssey or something like that. And like, I think it's actually just Odyssey. Whatever.
I think to that degree, there's not that many things that are attempting to be like that.
Exactly. And
I think the best example I can come up with like a modern masterpiece, and I don't even know that it's a masterpiece. Controversial figure, Ezra Pound, but he had a series of poems called cantos, which were really cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, canto being like its own thing and its own like poetic style. But it was
isn't
just
it also a region in Pokemon?
Yeah, but it's spelled with a C, so it's not quite the same.
Sorry.
And even then, like I hesitate to call it its own like modern thing because it's not. It uses like it's written in English, uses an old English syllabic structure, and then it borrows from the Odyssey itself. So it's basically like a retelling of the Odyssey using a old English structure, and it's really neat and cool. Like how it like gets spicy with it and switches it up.
That is cool.
But it's not like as original as something like the Odyssey was, so it's kind of difficult to say.
Well, and
I
then
guess
you go
on
back
a level,
to
the Odyssey did borrow heavily from Greek mythology. So
well, and then, yeah, exactly. And then you go back to the old saying of, oh, there's nothing unique under the sun. Like everything that any story you could ever want to tell has been told probably better by somebody else.
I just don't know that you're right because Paddington 2 is super good.
It can be good
and
but
original.
Like pieces
You
of
ever
it
seen
were.
Paddington 2?
I have not yet.
Nothing from it was unoriginal. Every single thing about Paddington 2
you know what?
is absolutely original, including the character Paddington, who had never been in a movie until he was in
or in a
Paddington
book.
2.
Never heard of.
Yes, he had never once been dreamed of as a character until Paddington 2 came out.
Can we just let movies start naming themselves like whatever 2 again? Like things should just start
we're
in the
getting
middle.
too spicy with it. Yeah, I agree.
Star Wars did it and it worked out pretty all right. So like fuck it.
Well, Star Wars started doing it after a while, right? Didn't the
Star
first one
Wars,
just get
the first one was just
first
Star
one was,
Wars
yeah.
until I think 5 came out.
Yeah.
and then they were like,
No, they
5.
were like, actually, this is in the beginning. It's already been going on. Speaking of which, oh man, you guys, Jackson, you won't care. No, you might care a little bit. Did you see they're doing the Old Republic again? Sort of. They're calling it the High Republic this time, and it's like much more recent.
sorry, I've been dealing with enough old Republicans.
I just mood. I have no patience for them rebooting my old lore that I actually knew. I'm just so tired of it.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is they're doing it like only 200 years before the movies instead of like 2000, so it doesn't affect Old
Is Adam
Republic lore
Driver
at
going to
all.
be in it?
I mean, he probably will be there. If Adam Driver isn't part of it, then who even
Then
knows?
what are we even doing?
Yeah, he should be in things. He's in things.
He
Nice.
should be in things. But yeah, I was really upset with it at first as well until I realized they were doing it like so recently, as opposed to what I think
Well,
it's
actually
literally
really not
2000,
very recent because it is a long time ago.
and it is far, far away. You are correct. No, that's fair.
Got him again. Yes, still on top. Yes, I got it.
But yeah, no, I don't know. I like the idea of like, yeah, the Old Republic still kind of can be a thing, and we're just gonna like kind of leave that part alone and deal with stuff that's more recent, so that we don't have to have people asking why has technology not progressed at all in the last 2,000 years.
That's fair enough.
You know, it was a long time ago. You
I
gotta give him some.
I
Give him
like
a break.
the idea that technology doesn't progress at all until the Empire, and then you've got like surprise Death Stars and shit.
I mean, I don't
Might I
want to
introduce
be
you to
that
the Dark
guy.
Ages?
I don't want to be that guy, but could I point out technology was advancing at a slow rate and then we had boom the Nazis?
No,
and they
that's fair.
stopped
I'll take it.
caring and they just
No,
did things.
Well, I
No,
mean,
actually, you know
that's
what? I'll take
honestly,
that.
like a war economy is one of it's a huge for invention because when it comes to killing each other, we're great at creating things that are neat on the side.
Mhm.
You know, like, hey guys, we really got to kill each other. Also, I just made bubble wrap.
Yep. I mean, I'll like that.
I was trying to make compressed poison gas in plastic, but I guess we could use it to pack things too.
Well, that's a genuinely the thing. Like, so many of your common inventions are actually like were created as a side effect of trying to kill people.
Or the space
Because
program.
we
It's
love making
literally
things.
just those two
or
things.
the space program. Yeah, we made a lot of neat stuff trying to get to space. Too bad we never did it.
Too bad we never made it.
I just
Yeah.
like the idea of like, because the thing is, there is an argument to be made for like why people believe the moon landing was fake because there were reasons to have faked it potentially, right? Like
Yeah.
because it was actually like a big international event. Flat Earth though.
And, well, here's my thing with
Why does the devil want the Earth to be flat? Why is that like a narrative people are spinning? That doesn't make any sense.
Mhm.
If I was Satan, I wouldn't be like the Earth's round, guys. Haha, I got them all. I would probably just be like, I'm gonna lie to people to make them make poor decisions in terms of like their life.
if I were Satan, all I would do
I'm
is lie to
just saying,
people.
I feel like that's a lot more of an effective strategy because the loosest connection
Yeah.
to where like it's like, well, when they realize that the universe is real, or when they think the universe is, not centered around the Earth, they'll no longer believe in God. Like that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why?
It's a weird little thing to try and like do that like weird push on, right? Because it's like,
Yeah.
because even like flat Earth Christians are out here literally saying believing in a flat Earth versus globe Earth is not a matter of salvation, but they're also
Yes.
still out here being like, this is very important.
Yeah, it doesn't
And-
make any sense. That's not the reason people leave the church. It's because people are like, I don't know, gonna
Garbage.
do stuff like yell at them about the flat Earth.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, we talked about the flat Earth co-friend of ours quite a few times.
Many times. No, and it's
Good.
I ran into the drummer from that same group,
the beardy one or the other one.
the beardy one.
Nice. How's he doing?
Yeah, no, he's doing really good. He has a child and married, and he's living large.
He does have a child now.
He does. He's
He's
got a baby,
very
yeah.
happy about that.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm happy for him too.
Mhm.
He's such a sweetheart. But yeah, no, he works at the college I go to.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, what's up? And we talked for a little bit, and we did end up talking about the flat Earth man.
There you
He
go.
was like, I don't hear from him anymore. I just haven't. He's like, I haven't heard from him in a long time. He's like, I unfriended him a while ago. You know
Probably
what?
for the best.
yeah, no, that
It's
is
for the best. I just can't look away.
I mean, they did used to get in like some pretty bad arguments
Yeah.
where
Him and the
flat Earth
guitar
used
guy.
to like. Oh yeah, I'm not friends with the guitar guy, so I miss out on a lot of those.
I'm not friends with him anymore, but I did remember seeing him commenting all the time.
See, I'm
On the
still
Flat
friends
Earth
with
stuff.
Flat Earth because it's just a good
too funny
time.
not to.
It's just a good time. But like, yeah,
There are others though. For example, my one friend, he dated a girl in like middle school, and he recently was like, "Yo, check out my middle school ex girlfriend's Facebook page.
oh no,
Oh no.
She makes Flat Earth Man look sane."
oh no.
But what she said, like what Flat Earth guy says, is not directly harmful. It's stupid and it's dumb and like it's just it makes it. He's arguing for no reason, but he's just arguing for the sake of argument at this point. What she says is like directly harmful and like super dangerous. Like she's vehemently anti-Semitic and like into all these like nut job conspiracy type things, and she's absolutely insane. Yeah, it's just, like. And she's also like flat Earth, obviously. She's in with all of that stuff.
And that just
Right.
goes
But-
without saying, really.
It's just like that's so crazy.
It's so sad, is what it is.
It's just like how, like at what point do you go from being like a normal person to completely going off the deep end? Because you never really see someone who's like in that consideration phase. It seems like they almost always immediately go from like it's like binary almost.
Well, because I feel
Like they're considering maybe a little bit, like they've thought about it, they've joked about it before, and the next thing you know, they're like fully off the deep end.
I
Yeah,
feel like it's a lot air quotes logical step, right? It's like that thing of like, if you believe this, then you have
Yeah.
to keep finding reasons to believe that, and
So like the baby steps just keep going.
the baby steps just fucking steamroll.
And usually, yeah, I don't. But I'm just trying to find out where the entry point is.
Mhm.
Because it's Like what's the starter? You know, what's the initiator there?
I don't know.
Because I don't know that there's a common link between many of the people. I know a lot of it, obviously, like there's different like groups. Some of them are like religious flat earth groups. Some are not though. Like there's plenty of people that are like totally agnostic and atheist flat earth groups that absolutely exist.
Like our flat earth friend, I get where he's coming from, right? Like he comes from
don't say things like that.
No. Let me clarify. Let me clarify though. He comes from a soldier background and a strong distrust of the government led him down some conspiracy webs, and the more you're convinced the more you're convinced a conspiracy is real, the less you like raise an eyebrow at the next one you come across until it's like, you know what?
It's true.
The government has lied to me about so many things. They also are lying to me about the shape of the earth, and that does not sound strange at all. You know, like you get to that point.
You know what? That makes sense. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, like so that's I guess that's his jumping off point. Then was just be like distrust. It's just crazy though, because like like at what point do you sit back and look around and be like, wait, what's wrong with me? Like I've destroyed so much in the pursuit of the flat Earth.
Right, there has to be a point where you realize the damage that you do outdoes whatever good you think you're doing from it.
But then the pride wins out, you know?
Because then you've put so much time into this, believing this one thing.
You can't go back because you put so much time into dedicating your life to talk about being involved with the flat Earth, and like you've hurt so many people on your way there.
Well,
and
not
like
only
you
pride,
can't just be like I was wrong. Yeah,
well, like it's so much your identity too at a certain point too, right?
Like it becomes who you are.
It's why a lot of people have a really hard time leaving the church, even if they don't really believe it anymore. It's
like political identities, religious identities, all those things are really hard to like, get away from for some certain or for everyone. It's a universal, it's a social thing.
You just want to be part of a group of people that understand you.
That conspiracy flat Earth kind of thing. Like it's equally. I would say it's way more harder to get out of because they just pump you full of their ideas. And then you don't get any outside sources because you've been told that every outside source is wrong.
Yeah, I mean and it's really sad.
I do find it funny that he's like believes the government's always out to hurt him, and like there's no such thing as like a good person, like everything's wrong, and like it's all about the flat Earth. But he's also like super pro Trump.
I don't
like if you want to talk conspiracy theories, that dude's name was in Jeffrey Epstein's book twice. That's all I'm saying. Like he's up there with the rest of them. Bloomberg's name was in it several times as well. Clinton's name was in it plenty of times. Rich people are pedophiles.
Yeah.
And it's one of those where I don't even know that that's a conspiracy. The dude was an active sex trafficker that was brought in for sex trafficking, had a book of all his clients, and those people's names were in the client book.
Yeah, I don't think it's a hot
take. Is
take.
that a conspiracy, or is that just someone who's affiliated with the sex trafficker to a level in which they would be considered a client? I don't know. I don't know if it's a conspiracy. I think that's just something that's weirdly not talked about.
Yeah, I don't get it, right? Like I get it sort of, but I don't get it. Like I don't get how people are like I don't understand anymore. I did for a while, right? Like don't get me wrong. When this like let's specifically talk about Trump. Fuck it. We're a political podcast now. I didn't.
Are we? I'm not talking about like politics. I'm just talking about like literally the interpersonal relationships and like the conspiracies that exist around those things.
That's where I'm leading to. I'm like I didn't get how when it was starting. Like I kind of got how people were like, well, yeah, it's all these things that people are just saying, right? But like the longer it goes on, at a certain point, you got to be like, y'all, maybe he did it, you know? And I don't feel like that. That doesn't feel like a hot take. That feels like a totally average take. I would even say that's a lukewarm take at best.
Here is an image that she had shared recently, the person I was talking about who's off the deep end. That's just an image, so you guys can see that real quick. But that's the kind of like, you can probably pop on the screen as well. It's basically a propaganda image, basically claiming that if someone calls you out, you're right.
Well, and that kind of leads back to, there's a biblical quote about that,
like,
isn't
no
there?
matter what happens, well, and that's the thing. That's the problem, is because even like within this image itself, one of the things is they say you will be taking the Bible out of context. And the thing about a lot of those people who are in like the flat Earth, like the crazy like anti-Semitic subsects of religions, is you can't bring like the Bible to them because they don't believe you have the ability to do that. You say it to them and they tell you, no, you've got it wrong, because they've immediately got this like defense mechanism built into the communities that's saying, we're actually right, and we know the Bible. If someone else says it to us, they're saying it wrong. They're interpreting it wrong.
We are the only ones who can possibly know what is correct. Yeah,
exactly. That's exactly the problem. Is it immediately gives them a defense mechanism from people who are claiming that they're part of the same group. It gets them the ability to say, no, actually, you're wrong. Flat Earth is right, and you can't use the Bible against me.
Well, specifically with conspiracy theories, right? Like that is then you are then part of the conspiracy. You are part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then the person who's
or
trying to
you're
just
a
talk
sheep,
to you.
either or.
Yeah, and that's the problem because it is one of those things that it's just like there is answers to most of these things people are like misinterpreting about religion within the scriptures, but then they don't want to hear it because they've convinced themselves that anyone but them doesn't actually know. And then when you add on top of it that social identity that exists in those like subgroups that are basically cults, you get this like they're dug even deeper. So they're not going to want to go out on a social level, and they've also got these like ideas in their head that make them believe that on a spiritual level they're superior. It's just super dangerous.
I don't know. I don't know. It's really sad. That's all. Like I don't even like. It just makes me kind of sad.
You can't get to them. Like you can't. It's one of those things that's very difficult to get to someone like that unless you're already very close to them. And even then, they're likely to shut you out. Kind of like your pyramid scheme type groups.
Yeah, very much similar. Very similar. Prey on the weak. Convince them of the falsehoods.
Yeah, give them the logical fallacies. But you know, we should talk more about pyramid schemes next week.
We should.
I'm here for that. Yeah,
I'm always down to talk about pyramid schemes.
I do love some good pyramid schemes, if we're being honest.
They exist and they
are terrible.
They're prolific. It's crazy.
I don't understand how people are still out here like, yeah, no, man, just join my pyramid scheme. And I'm like, that's a pyramid scheme, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. So we'll get into that next episode.
Now we do have
in the background.
We do have some shout outs from Patreon this week.
Ooh,
I got 3 of them.
Draw.
So
3 shout outs.
First off, we're gonna do Emma's because this is Emma's birth month. Emma, happy birth month.
Happy birth
Did
month.
you say month?
Happy month.
Happy month.
I love combining words. Not even like for comedic purpose. I just think it just feels good. There's something in my brain's like, yeah, month.
There is something about it that seems... You know how sometimes you jam words together and you're like, ooh, that sounds like a slur, but not a real one, but it just feels like it.
You'll say something and you're just like, that doesn't sound right. And you're like, well, it's really
sounds
not
like
a word.
Baked good.
It does. Like you could go to a store and buy a bunth.
And I kind of like it. Shut up, Nina.
Is Nina buying a bunth right now?
Well, she's talking about
It also does kind of sound like Mike Tyson just buying like an 8-pack of like hot dog buns.
Yeah, so happy bump, Emma. Our second shout out is for Cloud. Cloud doesn't have a shout out.
Happy month, Cloud.
But she doesn't have anything specific, but I did look at the off the air community page on the wiki. And she posted a thing that says, if you can read this, are M&M's candy bars. No, Cloud. M&M's are not candy bars. I don't care that you pay us money. I'm going to yell at you. They're just candy. That is a terrible
no bar
statement.
about it.
There's no bar. It's just a candy.
Yeah, I feel like I wanted to disagree, right? I wanted to be contrarian or whatever, but no, I feel like by definition it has to be in a bar shape.
Yeah,
like, I'm trying to think of a bar that isn't in a bar shape
because there are M&M's candy bars.
Yeah, there are 100%.
And they are different.
Are there? No, wait.
There are. Yeah, they make bar candies with M&M's. It's like chocolate poured over a bar of M&M's.
Okay. I thought you meant like it was like an M&M branded like bar candy. I get that they have like candies, like it's like a Hershey's with M&M in it or something like that.
It's like M&M's branded bar candy. I got a peanut M&M candy bar for Christmas.
I don't think I can believe this. I've never heard of such a thing.
In a like laid out flat, crushed a little bit, and then with melted chocolate poured over top. Yeah, it was actually quite tasty.
I looked up M&M candy bar. Whoa.
Yeah. No, they're not bad, but it is distinctly different.
Yeah, they're just like chocolate bars with M&Ms in them.
Yeah.
And there's some variations. There's someone's like, this is just a Snickers. Someone has just put a Snickers under the tag M&M candy bar.
People be like, but then
candy bars.
So now that we've thoroughly roasted Cloud, there is one last shout out, and that's from Hi. Dan, you were not here last week to learn that Hi was our new patron.
Hey,
even though
thanks, Hi.
In the recording, if you listen carefully, you can hear me say, Dan, we have a new patron in a call with only me and Jackson.
That's very funny.
So that was embarrassing.
Thanks, Hi.
I tried
We
to
do
find a way to
appreciate
edit
that.
it, but I couldn't. But
That's-
Hi,
Very funny.
Hi, his shout out is also the wiki. Hi has been in here, keeping the things updated and stuff like that. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. He's been keeping all the episodes updated, and he just wanted to say, hey, some people go ahead and swing by.
It's so weird to me that we actually have like I will
Hi is
reiterate
America's
this
favorite
to the
champion.
end. That it's weird to me that like people actually not only listen to us but are invested in this podcast.
Blows my mind.
We're exciting.
Absolutely blows my mind.
I'm not
Every day.
surprised. I'm a luxury few can afford.
Okay, well,
Oh, that also reminds
Some
me.
have just realized.
Since it's a fresh month, we do get to give some fresh shout outs to people. So that's our shout out tier. Shout out to Edge. Shout out to Michael. I guess that's it for the shout outs because the other three are all in the they have us make a shout out
yeah,
tier.
don't be greedy. You don't
It's
get
true.
double
No one
shout
left a
outs.
message this month?
Those were the
No one left
messages.
a message? Yeah, but like they weren't messages. One of them was just like look at the wiki, and the other one was just look at the wiki, and then Emma actually had a message.
Yeah, no,
That's-
Cloud doesn't usually have anything to make us say. She just appreciates us being here and wants us to keep up the work.
That's
I
disgusting.
respect
First
it.
of all,
Who am I to call someone out for not making me do work?
that's disgusting. Why would anyone like us? That's gross.
I'm likable.
So yeah,
Okay.
The fact that you
you-
got that only validates me.
if you people would like to also contribute, you can go to patreon.com/offtheair. We got a couple of tiers.
Patreon.com/off the air.
Patreon.com/off the air.
I know there's
Call
this
now.
big controversy of the fact that we don't have any bonus content, and I have promised it on multiple occasions and missed my deadline like 20 times. But
Noah has never once created
Dan
bonus
has an
content.
episode that he was saying that he's going to have to me in a little bit.
We
And
made the
Dan
Monster
has
Prom
like
bonus
Dan
content.
has. Let's not talk about how many episodes Dan has that he's sitting on that he just literally has not had the time to edit. We're just not going to talk about that.
I am editing the
it's
other
more
one
than
that's
two.
we do have an Oops All Guests episode. I have a big road trip coming up. I'm going to be finishing it up over the course of that.
Oops, all guest episode.
It is-
what a good episode.
It is a fun episode.
God,
Is Lil Milk
I
in that?
got to be there
Not yet.
for the intro to that one, and that was a fucking gift.
But yeah, it's gonna be a grand old time. And so Patreon, gonna be having some more bonus content soon. You guys can hold me to that. If there's not bonus content by mid-April, then we can cancel.
That's a huge
me.
amount
I
of
was gonna say,
time.
if there's not bonus
Dude,
content by mid-March, because I have
can't
free time.
Stop. I can't promise by mid-March because I will not be in town mid-March. I will be on the road in the middle of the freaking United States with no guaranteed internet.
I can guarantee mid-March.
I can't. Don't hold me accountable to anything.
I can upload an episode in mid-March. Let's aim
just
for
show
end of
up here and
March
talk.
just to be
Anyway.
safe, so that no one can actually proofread these things.
I was gonna say, don't you usually want me to proofread, so we can't guarantee mid-March. But
I
if
can
we don't
guarantee
have
whatever you want me to guarantee.
if we don't
but
have 2 by mid-April, Dan is canceled
Dan deserves to be canceled because his stuff
for
was
very
ready to
many other
go.
reasons.
Should have been ready to go like 3 months ago. I'm gonna self roast. Like your boy got I'll fucking tell you, I don't care. Your boy got a paid editing gig, and that took up so much of his time for so long, and it's finally like I would argue like 90% done. And I'm someone else is reaching out for me for another one, but I'm making sure that I have a longer deadline on that so I can work on this other edit.
Nice.
I don't know. No, we can do like another Monster Prom or something.
I would very much enjoy that.
Play a video game.
Dan would also like to get on a Monster
Would you have
Prom.
Monster Prom?
I do.
Oh, yeah, you can do Monster Prom.
Yeah, we can do the 3 of us in a Monster Prom.
Is it 3-player?
Yeah, you can do it to 4.
It's up to 4.
Oh.
When's the new one come out?
Another
I don't
Monster
know.
Prom coming out?
I kickstarted it, but I haven't seen any updates recently.
We should get Lil Milk to play Monster Prom too.
There's a Steam workshop for Monster Prom?
Yeah.
Dude, we got to wrap this up. I'll keep doing plugs here. Twitter.com @theofftheair. Facebook.com/OTA podcast. That's where you can find the podcast. We don't have the best selection of things going on. If we're being honest, I don't keep the Facebook updated, but Twitter, we're active. We update, we talk. It's a good time. Follow us there. You can find me specifically as Bubba Da Bad, BUBBADABAD. Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch, the 3 T's, and Insta. Twitter, Tumblr, Twitch, and Insta. I'm streaming most Thursdays, I would like to say, and most Tuesdays and Saturdays. I will be streaming right now if it weren't for the fact that we have to cram some episodes so that I don't have to edit while I'm driving.
Amazing.
It's a grand old time. But for real, yeah, those are my links. You can find them in the show notes. Yada yada do. Bad BUBBADABAD. Dan, how about you? You weren't here last week. We didn't plug
Twitter. You can if you want to.
Just tell us where to find you.
Yeah. You can find me at twitter.com/BornToRule, Instagram at BornToRule47, and twitch.tv/BornToRule.
There we
where
go.
I am streaming every Saturday these days. I've actually been really damn consistent on it. Most of the time I've been playing Total Warhammer 2 with Cap, and last week we played Star Wars Battlefront, which was really fun. Which reminds me, hey, no, you and I should play Star Wars Battlefront one of these days.
I did uninstall it, so I will have to actually make an effort to make that happen. But I'm open to the idea.
Give more money to the Patreon so Noah can buy a new hard drive so he doesn't have to keep uninstalling episodes.
No, I'm
uninstalling
uninstalling stuff because I just don't play it anymore.
You don't play anything anymore besides
I play
Dragon
a lot
Age.
of Dragon Age.
You play Dragon Age. You play just Dragon Age.
Jackson, where can we find you?
Whatever.
Little_milk_bruh. Eventually we'll be a guest on the podcast, we're sure. Up and coming
I just
rapper.
like saying Lil
Big
Milk.
rapper. King of the rappers.
Big man rapper, king of the rappers. No, seriously, king of all rappers and rapettes.
I miss this bit, and so I'm not on board with it.
Lil Milk's gonna come beat you up if you say that.
Do it. I like being beat. What?
L.